Hello everyone, this is the first video on this series that I'm going to be doing about being a celiac. I'm a celiac and it runs in my family. There's my father, my daughter, my nephew have all been diagnosed, and there's a possibility of a couple of others that have a few digestive issues, shall we say. So I think I know what I'm talking about when I say how to live a gluten-free life and live it well and be happy with it. Being a celiac isn't the end of the world. So in this video, I've got some of my top tips for living as a celiac and making the best of it, because you haven't got a choice really if you are a true celiac. I know some of you choose to go gluten-free. I know bread particularly affects some people and makes them bloat, makes them uncomfortable. That's slightly different to being a celiac, but I know some of you do have problems digesting wheat, and these tips will help you as well, I'm sure. So enjoy. I hope it's of use to you. I am planning on putting up a series of videos about living with the celiac disease. If they're helpful, please subscribe. Let me know if you've got any questions. Please ask. Here we go. Hi, just to let you know quickly, all this information will be on my Facebook page. Okay, before we start, my top tips. I've written them down. There we go. I was trying to limit it to 5. Goes on to 3 pages. I'll try and narrow it down just a little bit to keep it concise so it doesn't go on forever and a day. First one, if you're diagnosed as a celiac, or if you realise you do have a problem with gluten, don't panic, don't despair. Life goes on. You can live a perfectly healthy life with just a few little tweaks, shall we say, to how you live it. So tip number 1, don't despair. Be positive. It's fine. Everything will be all right in the end once you get used to it. Tip number 2, I'm just checking my list so I don't forget. This has taken me a while to get to grips with, because I don't want to be a celiac. When I first realised a few years ago, there was a friend of mine pointed it out to me that the reason I was always ill was because I had gluten intolerance, and as it turned out, I'm celiac, so I can't tolerate any gluten at all in my diet. But it took me a long time to accept that. I love my biscuits, I love my bread, I love my cakes, my pastries. I thought life is just not worth living. It might be better living with the pain and enjoying my food. No, it isn't. It's better to find alternatives and live a healthier lifestyle. So tip number 2 is one that really took me a long time to get to grip with, because I didn't want to accept the reality of what I've got. Tip number 2 is read labels. A lot and lots of food on the supermarket shelves is already gluten-free. You do not have to buy the really expensive stuff on that little mini aisle with a limited choice. Go around the supermarket. There's a huge range of foods you can already eat that are gluten-free. And if you're not sure, read the labels. It's really important. Some foods you might not think have got gluten in, have got gluten in. Soups. You can pick up 2 cans of soup, different manufacturers. Vegetable soups, for example. One will have gluten in, one won't. You have to read the label. Sauces are another prime culprit. Right? Read the labels. Tip number 2. Along with tip number 1, and tip number 3 ties in together. Concentrate on what you can eat. Don't bemoan all the things you can't eat. Don't go, oh, woe is me, I can't eat bread. Yes, you can eat bread. It's different bread. Once you get used to eating it, you don't have a choice. You can't eat the normal stuff. It tastes slightly different, but if you're not eating the normal stuff, you're not aware of how different it tastes. So you're fine. It doesn't matter if it tastes slightly different. You can eat it and be healthy. Doesn't always toast. You might set fire to your toaster, but that's a different issue because it crumbles. It goes into like little grains mostly, or it goes gloopy. Some very peculiar things they put in gluten-free bread. But you can eat it. I don't eat half as much bread as I used to because of the problems with it, but it's out there. You can eat potatoes, you can eat rice, you can eat vegetables till they're coming out of your ears, you can eat all the meats, you can eat dairy unless you've got a dairy problem. There's loads you can eat, so concentrate on what you can eat rather than sitting there thinking, I can't eat that, I can't eat that, I can't eat that. Tip number 4, get your family involved. Your family have to be on your side, which they should be anyway, to be fair. It's a lot easier if you all adopt a gluten-free diet. Otherwise, you're going to get cross-contamination in your kitchen. Cross-contamination can come from your cutlery, your crockery, your chopping boards, anywhere in your kitchen. You can get cross-contamination if you're not careful. It's much better. Throw away everything that's got gluten in. Don't buy it. Don't have it in your house. And then you know your house is safe. It's slightly different matter if I go to friends' houses. They all know I've got a gluten problem. They tend to prepare things on different surfaces for me, on a different plate. And I don't usually have a problem at all when I go out, or if I go to friends, or anywhere. Okay, I'm up front, I talk to people, I say, I'm celiac, what have you got that I can eat? And most people are really accommodating on that score. If they realise you have a true problem, they'll help you. Okay, so be upfront, be honest. And I'm not proud. If somebody puts a meal on the table I know I can't eat, I'll say, would you mind if I just go and help myself find something I can eat? Because I can't eat that. And I have been known to go, and my friends have known me for years, they don't care. And I go and I'll root through the cupboards and I'll find something. It's fine. You've just got to make sure you're taking control of your health in this issue. You have to take some responsibility. Tip number 4. Again, this links to tip number 3 really. Taking responsibility. If I go to a restaurant now, first thing we do before we go is we usually check online, do they have a gluten-free menu? Then when we get there, as soon as you sit down, the waiters come over, they don't give you a menu, say, do you want a drink? And I'll say, yes, but can I have a gluten-free menu as well, please? I'm celiac. Tell them you have that problem. And then the kitchen will prepare your dishes. If they're a good restaurant, they will prepare your dishes separately to everybody else's. Okay. We went to Padstow over the summer, Rick Stein's fish restaurants and fish and chips takeaway. They are brilliant at taking care of celiacs. You wouldn't think you could have fish and chips from a chip shop, would you? But you can with Rick Stein's. They cook the gluten-free stuff in a separate fryer. They make sure that my gluten-free stuff was in a box on top of everybody else's, so there's no cross-contamination. And it was such a treat. We went twice in a week, because how often can I have gluten-free fish and chips from a chip shop? Not very. I couldn't have mushy peas because they've got gluten in. Why? Why put gluten in mushy peas? I do not know, but there you go. Next one. Be flexible. I can't go to a restaurant and say, oh, I think I'm going to have this, this and this. It doesn't work when you've got, when you're celiac or when you're trying to adopt a gluten-free lifestyle. Talk to the waiting staff, look at the menu and work it out from there. Okay. If there's one thing on the menu, that's it. That's what I've got to have. If there's nothing, then we usually go to somewhere else, to be fair. We've been out quite a few times to cafes, and it's the big chains tend to be the worst, really. National Trust is getting better. Debenhams is alright. I can always get a meal in Debenhams. I can very, very rarely find anything to eat in Waitrose. Tesco's is very variable. Costa, no. Starbucks, occasionally we'll have a wrap in there, not very often. Alright. But some places are really, really good. You can say I'm gluten free and the chef will come out and talk to you, the kitchen staff will come out and talk to you, and they will go through what they can adapt from their menu so you can have something to eat. So you have to be flexible. Quite often, and it's getting better as well. Over the years, it's got a lot better. When I first started going out as a celiac, I quite often just ended up with a packet of crisps and a chocolate bar for my lunch because that was all I could find. It was gluten free. And in one place, one bloke said, well, I can give you the lemon meringue pie, just don't eat the bottom. Doesn't really work with when you've got an allergy, does it? Because it doesn't work. They obviously don't understand how serious celiac is. The last tip is going to take you a long time. to get to grips with being celiac and the change in your diet and the change in how you live your life. You will take time to come to grips with it. It will be a long process. It's taken me, I think, 8, 9 years, coming up to 10 years. I still make mistakes. I still sometimes lying on the sofa for a day thinking, what have I eaten? What slipped through? Where have I gone wrong with my day? So if something has slipped through the net and I'm ill, I backtrack through what I've eaten over the previous 24 hours. It can take 24 hours before it makes me ill. So I have to go right back and I try and remember everything I've eaten and read the labels and find out what it is. Sometimes I just can't find it. I've picked up some gluten from somewhere and I don't know where. So even though I'm very careful now, I still have days where I have to spend on the sofa with the painkillers, waiting for it to go away again. Okay. So those are my 6 top initial tips to help you come to terms with being a celiac. Yes, it's a pain in the bum, literally, sometimes. It is something you've got to have for the rest of your life. So start making the changes as soon as possible. If you're offered help from dietitians, take it. They're there to help you. All right. On my future videos, I'm going to be putting up my favourite foods. My not so favourite foods. There's quite a few of those out there. There's quite some disgusting gluten-free things out there. I do wonder sometimes when I'm eating it, did the people who invented this or designed this or came up with the recipe, did they actually taste it? Because it's revolting. So, hope these videos will help you. We'll keep them going. I'll keep them going as often as I can. Thank you for watching.